a current planetary influences update. Our sun is currently finishing up its transit through the sign of Aquarius. It will complete that transit and head into Pisces on February 19th. For those of you who are Pisces, you can check back on the channel next week for your birthday video reading. Our moon at the recording of this video is in Sagittarius in its last quarter phase. And that is a phase of completion and basically holding a state of gratitude. I've been doing astrology for about 20 years, and when people ask me about using astrology on a daily basis, it's the moon that we watch. Most of the other planets all move so slowly that their changes take a lot of time for us to feel. But the moon changes sign every 3.5 days. So we tend to feel that, and on a more day-to-day basis, tracking the moon is where we're going to see the benefit of astrology, I think, the most. So this is why I track the moon. I like to know what sign she's in. I especially like to know what phase she's in, because I can time important things in my life according to the phase that she's in. So that's a little bit about the moon. And as it says on your screen, if you want to follow the moon like I do and be apprised of those updates, including general energy readings for those periods, then you'll want to subscribe. All right, next up is Mercury. And Mercury began its retrograde, the first retrograde of 2020, today, the date that I'm recording this video, which is February 16th. And Mercury will be in its retrograde or out of phase through March 14th. This retrograde will be occurring in the signs of Aquarius, an air sign, and Pisces, the water sign, which will be encouraging us to seek deeper meaning and also address deep emotional issues, wounds, and miscommunications. Take note of the house or houses of your chart where this will be taking place. And this will give you a hint of what areas of your life will be highlighted during the retrograde. If you don't yet have your astrological birth chart, you will need your time of birth, and you can go to astro.com or cafeastrology.com, plug in some information, and it will show you your birth chart. And then you will be able to determine which houses Aquarius and Pisces rule in your birth chart, and then have a better understanding of what areas of your life Mercury and his mischievousness will be up to for the next 3 weeks. Next up is Venus. Venus is in Aries. She moved out of the creative, intuitive, sensitive Pisces waters on February 7th. She will remain here in Aries until March 4th. This transit calls us into ourselves. It asks us to put ourselves first, to meet our own needs, and to be willing to give ourselves what we can't seem to access or receive anywhere else. It is a potent reminder of the power of self-love and self-care, and how, without filling our own cup first, we cannot expect to be able to fill anyone else's. Use this period to explore what you like and what you need and want, and what brings you pleasure and joy. This can show up sexually, sensually, financially, emotionally, and through self-care and self-talk. Cultivate a passionate relationship with yourself and use that fire to ignite other aspects of your life. And last up for the inner planets is Mars. Just today, Mars moved into the sign of Capricorn. Mars in Capricorn is a time of strengthening our forces. It's about using our energy, focus, motivation, and will to create something long-lasting for ourselves and our future stability. It will be joining Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn in the sign of the Goat to help us gather the inspiration and bursts of energy to keep ourselves going and move forward on projects and tasks that will help us to create a long-term foundation and put the pillars in place that are needed to sustain ourselves. Questions to ask yourself during this 6-week period: what have you been putting off doing or resisting or telling yourself you'll get to when you have more time? Something that if you began implementing over the next 6 weeks would make a massive difference in your long-term financial well-being and future. Mars helps to give us the push we need to take action. If you have been focusing more on short-term survival or just getting done what's in front of you, but don't have a long-term plan to get yourself out of living paycheck to paycheck, or are unable to take time off because everything revolves around you, then this is the kick in the pants you need to think outside the box and start putting pieces in place to help change that. Take time over the next 6 weeks to implement something that can begin to replace you, give you time off, or create additional income for you so that you can really begin building your future for the long term. That's a wrap for the energy update for this period. I thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Up next is your health and wellness reading. Namaste. Hello, fire signs, and welcome back to Modern Day Meta. So happy you could join me. This is your health and wellness reading for the Fire Sign Collective for the period February 16th through the 29th. I have pre-shuffled and prayed a blessing over the cards prior to recording so that I can take up less of your time shuffling and spend more of the time delivering messages from Spirit. So Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, let's see what Spirit is recommending for the next 2 weeks. You can find links to the cards I'm using, plus ways to get in contact with me in the description box below. I'm going to start with Debbie A. Anderson's Vibrational Energy Oracle. Fire signs, please. What will our Fire Sign Collective be focusing on, Spirit, for the next 2 weeks? Can you please show us? Thank you, Spirit. There it is. And Fire Sign Collective,
medicine, essential oil medicine that will help with these energies for the next 2 weeks. Thank you, Spirit, for our fire sign collective mid-February. Thank you, Spirit. Any and all beings, most benevolent outcome for this health and wellness reading for fire signs. We're going to take that one. And plant and sea life. Plant essences. Spirit for our fire sign collective. What will support them for the next 2 weeks? Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. And our stone medicine, rock medicine for the fire sign collective. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, February 16th to the 29th. Thank you, Spirit. What rock medicine will best support our fire sign collective in the next 2 weeks? Over the next 2 weeks. Thank you, Spirit. Wow, right? Carnelian likes to come up a lot. Just saying. And lastly, I'll pull from affirmators for, I'm pulling actually using the love and relationship in honor of, yes, Valentine's Day. For our fire sign collective, a general message for the next 2 weeks. Thank you, Spirit. General message, fire signs, mid-February. All right, let's see what's happening for you, fire signs. So from Debbie Anderson's vibrational energy for the next 2 weeks, this card says knowing. I see a lot of mental activity on this card. Maybe receiving downloads also from the universe with all of the networking in the background, like angelic and spiritual networking and linking up, right? Lots of new paths are being made as the 5D, 4D, 5D, right? As that becomes. And let's see what the card actually says, what Debbie says in the book. Knowing. Well, if I could spell. There it is. It just took me a moment. Knowing. We have all experienced that gut feeling or intuition that resides inside us. The vibration of just knowing without knowing why. It is time to get more in touch with this vibration. Listen to what you hear and act upon the messages you receive, as they will guide you on the journey you are destined for. Now is the time to open up everything in the universe and beyond. All right, Fire Sign Collective. Yeah, this reminds me a little bit of like the Aquarian energy. We're just rolling out of that now, but the key word for Aquarius is I know. And yeah, that genius level, they get it. It's like a bolt of lightning, or they hook up to this network that you see here in the card, and that's how they know. So let's see what else Spirit is recommending to support you with these energies. Let's take a look at, I'm going to start with the rock medicine. Carnelian has come up again. This shows up frequently in the readings. I think that a lot of us just need that general life force energy boosted, which is what carnelian is great for. The colors often, correlate with the actual chakra system on the body. So this orangish red color, we know we're dealing with the lower chakras. Let's see what the card says. What it is: a cherry red chalcedony used by ancient Romans in signet rings. Wax doesn't stick to it. And by modern folk to ward off insecurities. Carnelian's fiery energy helps spin us out of fearful thought cycles and into action. And who needs it? The understimulated, anybody looking to get acquainted with their fears. Hello, fear. My name is your name. We have some beautiful work to do together now. Shut the fuck up and let's do this. I love this deck for its levity. And where to put it? Wherever you want to inject some passion and confidence, i.e. your palate or your pelvis. And when to use it? When you find your creativity or sex drive on sleep mode. And the affirmation is, see if we can get it focused, go with your gut. Go with your gut. Still not coming into focus there, but there it is. Go with your gut. Carnelian. That's perfect for fire signs. Wouldn't be surprised if we already have some of that laying around, Fire Collective. All right, let's go to essential oils. And Spirit's recommending lemongrass. And the key word on this card is about decluttering. The affirmation statement, everything you have done up until this point is leading you to where you need to be. Let go of the past and be here now. So yeah, anti-hoarding. This is about letting go. Do you love it? Do you like it? Like, let your stuff go. Let your emotional baggage and stuff that in the material world that you necessarily don't need any longer. The ego statement you need to be on the watch out for the next 2 weeks. I made so many mistakes. Spirit's asking you to turn that into, I let it all go. We can tell also by the color of this card that this is activating our 7th chakra, the spirituality chakra. So Spirit's suggesting, fire sign, some lemongrass and, I don't know, oming, doing some oming and letting it go. All right. And for your flower essence, flower and sea life essences, you got Pearly Everlasting. Isn't that pretty? Pearly Everlasting. And it says here, many forms, one self. Do you think that you could love another more easily than this one? The next one will offer the same challenges. They are a reflection of you. Be devoted to yourself in form, within and without. Keyword here, devotion. I love it. Chakra activated here is your third eye and the navel. And meridian on the body is liver and gallbladder, and this resonates with the element of wood. I see green too in that star, so that makes me think of the heart chakra. But yeah, devotion to yourself. I love that. All right, Fire Collective, let's wrap up your general health and wellness reading for mid-February from the Affirmators Love and Relationship Affirmation deck. Spirit says, it's time for some pleasure. I give myself permission to feel pleasure and let that pleasure rush into my life in a decadent display of over-the-top abundance. Then I realize that pleasure has been waiting at my door for a long time. It's just that pleasure doesn't knock on doors because loud noises aren't super pleasant. All right, you've got to go out and get your own pleasure. Make it a priority, it sounds like. So, Fire Sign Collective, I thank you for hanging out with me, and tuning in for your health and wellness reading for mid-February. If you like what you heard or anything in particular resonated and you'd like to share that, I'd love hearing from you in a comment. Otherwise, check back in a couple of weeks, unless, of course, you like to chase the moon like I do. You can stay in touch with her phases. Until next time, namaste.